Welcome to Indy Unplugged, the podcast that's your front row seat to the real talk of Indianola. I'm Aaron Young, your friendly neighborhood host, and we're diving deep into unfiltered stories, candid chats, and the nitty-gritty of our vibrant city. Think of this as a crash course in all things Indianola. No fancy jargon, just real conversations. So, get comfy, hit that play button, and let's explore the heart and soul of our community together on Indy Unplugged. All right, welcome back to another episode of Indy Unplugged, a City of Indianola podcast, and we now have some awesome guests. We have two, I would say probably my best friends, I'd say, as part of the Indianola team. We've got Amanda and Haley with the Indianola Chamber of Commerce, as well as Experience Indianola, just two great community partners that are spearheading a big bulk of the tourism initiatives for Indianola, and in collaboration, some recent collabs with, the greater of Warren County. But how are you both doing today?
We are good. Hello, Indianola.
Yeah.
I'm doing great.
It's been a while that we've been trying to get this podcast episode for you two to be guests in motion. And by that, I mean, it's been a handful of months. So I'm glad that
Maybe a year.
Maybe a year. But I'm glad we've finally been able to make this happen, and we've got to do more of them as well with future topics. But I know just right out the gate, you have a pretty awesome festival that's coming to Indianola next month. What is that?
So the Indianola Chamber is super excited to bring the Dad's Rock Festival to downtown Indianola. Most people are familiar with our Summer Nights Live event. So this is a Summer Nights Live event. We decided to go big or go home this year. In the past, we've done 2 concerts, and it takes twice the stage, twice the labor resources, twice the kaibos, and the single band. And we thought, hey, what if we test drove for 1 year, bringing multiple bands and bringing in a big old stage and doing a big festival? And so this summer, we decided the dates just aligned with Father's Day. So we were like, let's celebrate dads. Let's celebrate just a fun weekend where we could create experiences that appealed to dads, but also create a whole lot of fun for the whole family. So the Dad's Rock Festival is coming on June 14th and is going to be down on the Indianola Main Street from 1 to 10 p.m., packed with a whole lot of fun.
So I'm excited for it, being a dad myself and a rocker of the New Balances. The NB 880s is what I call them. Every dad's going to have those shoes on with grass stains and a bush light in hand, I'm sure.
They better be wearing their jorts at least.
And jorts and fanny packs. I'm excited. I'm really looking forward to this event, just being a dad myself again. But, how did the opportunity for this event come to be? Because, it's kind of a creative idea and a new concept where I'm not going to say it's never been done in Indianola before, but there's a lot of things that you're putting into this event that hasn't been done ever, period.
Yeah. So, well, you've been around us before, Aaron, when we start spitballing ideas, and this festival was no different. We landed on the date and thought, okay, this ties to, a weekend of Father's Day, and then the crazy ideas just flowed. Obviously, when you think about a dad, at least I do, I think about a man cave. I think about the guy disappearing into the basement with his cold one and turning on probably like 3 different big screen TVs and watching all of their sports at the same time. And so that was the first idea that flowed was, okay, let's create a man cave experience. And then we realized, if we created one on the street with a massive big screen TV, we could claim Iowa's largest man cave. And that's what we are doing for this event.
Is that a record? Is that an actual record, like the Guinness Book of World Records?
We're going to make it one.
It will be after our event. We will be claiming it, and someone will have to prove that they're bigger than us because nobody's made that claim before. But we are bringing in it is a truck-sized big screen TV. If anybody has gone out to Pickard Park for the movie in the park, that is coming downtown, and we are going to be broadcasting the U.S. Open and have kind of some semi-lounge seating, and just a cool experience for I Was Largest Man Cave. But then from there, it was like, okay, what else? We thought about garages. And so we were like, how do we create an experience where people could explore reasons to build a bigger garage? And, just being a part of the chamber, we have some amazing community partners. We've got this business community that supports us year in and year out, but we don't always have a platform for them to give back, to the community and to be able to showcase what they do, but also create fun and an experience. And so, we've got our partners from DeYarman and from Harley, from
Tyson's,
Van Wall, Power Sports, and just a number of other, Vanderpool construction. And we're going to have them coming in and, basically people are going to be able to shop for fun things, perhaps to give dad for Father's Day, but also to create a cool experience. And that's going to be actually right next to the little rock star zone, which is our kids zone.
my favorite zone.
Yes. You're probably going to see Haley in an inflatable.
Yep. Maybe I'll make my way into the dunk tank if none of the dads do. But
She's probably going to blend in with the kids.
I think I would. It's kind of my zone. It's my thing.
What I do know for sure is that we have Dunk Your Dad, but it's also, Dunk Your Colleague. So Haley, I'm looking forward to dunking that day.
Might be my favorite thing if I dunk Amanda too. So we'll see.
And then what's cool is we are going to have like this craft area where kids will be able to make gifts for their dad. We have birdhouses, coupon books. We have like little dads and guitars and things that kids can paint and marker up and all of that stuff. So we're all about creating the experience. And aside from these zones, including our barbecue, backyard barbecue, where we're going to have outdoor games and all of the bit, we're also going to be having some competitions, including our dad bod parade and our contests.
Yep. And Danger with Nash FM will be there.
Overall, it's just an exciting event for both dads and the kiddos, but just the overall family experience. While there's humor and there's going to be some fierce competition in those dad bod contests and the other things that are being offered that day on Saturday, June 14th, but it really is everywhere you go, an activity for all ages.
And we haven't even talked about the bands.
Right.
So we're going to have 3 acts. We kind of wanted to take, like, thinking of dads, they're kind of generational. We've got them coming from all ages. And so we're going to kind of take people through the decades. So we have Big Hair Mafia that's going to come, of course, and play everybody's favorite hair band music. We've got Damon Dotson Band, who people love and recognize. And then we also have maybe less known, but they're supposed to be super, super good, is BS and the Liars. And they play like kind of 90s pop and rock, sing-along, dance-along type of music. So you're right. I mean, it really is an experience that's going to be fun for the whole family. We want people to bring their friends. It is a free event. If you want to enjoy maybe adult beverages, we do have a drink access pass, and we have VIP packages available as well, where people can get a free drink, free meal, VIP zone access, skip the line, and a whole bunch of fun wrapped into that package as well.
And there's still opportunity for community members. If they're looking to get involved, you might need some volunteers that day, right?
We need a ton of volunteers. This is really the biggest event outside of Home for the Holidays, and I think it might even contend as bigger than Home for the Holidays. We need volunteers. We've identified we need probably at least 100 volunteers. So anyone who's out there that wants to help make this a success, at the Chamber, we're here to create this as an experience, kind of a give back to the community, and any way that people feel that they can give back, whether it's supporting the business community that's putting this on or helping volunteer, we would just be so appreciative.
And if people wanted to learn more information about the festival, or for those who do want to volunteer, what's the best way to find those details?
It is at experienceindianola.com/dads-rock. All of the information and the links out to the tickets are there.
And we'll be sure, listeners, to include all those links in the description of this podcast. So wherever you're listening, scroll down to the bottom and you'll find that information to access those resources. But I want to go back a little bit real quick. So with this being the first kind of rendition of Summer Nights Live, playing it off to the Dads Rock Festival, will this kind of hopefully be a mainstay for years to come?
That is ideally what we would like to accomplish through this event, is to have it be a great success. And let's do this type of family celebration every June and do it up well. And
you have the Summer Nights Live concert series, so it's also the opportunity in August, right?
So August of this year, we're not doing. So we're doing just one big event.
Just all hands on this one. Yeah.
Yeah. As you can imagine, this takes a lot of resources to pull off. And so we're investing all in one. There's some other community partners that have talked about perhaps doing something at the end of August. And so we're working really in partnership with all of the other partners to figure out how do we create these experiences throughout the year. We'd love to add more. They take, resources. And so the more that people support, the business community, I think the more that we can introduce additional experiences and events like that. And that's our ultimate goal.
Well, one of those resources and those initiatives that you both have led over the course of this past year and throughout much of last year as well would be the launch of Experience Indianola. Tell us more about that platform and the purpose behind it.
So Experience Indianola has been a really, really cool part of this job. Mm-hmm. Would you agree, Haley?
Oh, yes.
So that was something that, honestly, I kind of, when I started with the Chamber 2.5 years ago, it was in its infancy. It was kind of an idea and concept. And I feel like it has launched into something pretty awesome. And that's been a collaborative effort with community partners, with our tourism partners, in really identifying, like, we have tremendous assets here in Indianola, here in Warren County. And, a little interesting fact, like, people don't realize how big of a financial impact visitors have on a community. So just to share an example, in 2023, the visitor spend in Warren County was $45 million.
Wow.
That's huge bucks.
Just in 2023, you said?
In 2023, and we've grown since then. Sorry, all the data is delayed from where we get it, but $45 million, that ends up equating to really what they've determined is like $1 million tax impact. When we think about visitor spend, it's not just what they're spending at that particular business, but that business is having to spend money with other businesses to be able to provide the food or whatever it might be to that person. And so the whole impact is pretty significant. And when we look at, economic development in Indianola, we don't have these big industries that are helping fuel and fund, community initiatives like a Dad's Rock Festival. So we've got to look at, what are our economic opportunities here in what are the assets that we have to leverage. And we have tourism assets. Obviously we have amazing events. National Balloon Classic, the Des Moines Metro Opera, the Warren County Fair, the Discmania Challenge, the Indianola Summer Arts Festival, plus all the stuff we do in the downtown square. And so that's a big piece of it. But outside of that, like, we're in this hub of outdoor adventure. We have open air and rolling hills. We have agritourism. We've got amazing, places to go for a beer or a place to eat. We're bringing in youth to competitions. We have all of these experiences that people can have here, but we've done a really, really good job of keeping it a hidden secret for years. There's good and bad about that. The bad is that we don't get to capitalize on that economic impact. And I think it's really important, especially with our business community and how much they need business. We cannot turn our eyes away from the opportunity to attract visitors. And so Experience Indianola, the website, which is experienceindianola.com, has been just a piece of it. We've done huge campaigns in conjunction with our partners at Warren County Economic Development in the National Balloon Classic, as well as our other partners throughout Warren County. We have invested in some big campaigns, one of them being with Travel Iowa. People don't know it, but we've been advertising outside the state for the past 3 months, and it's having significant results and hits. In fact, the top 2 cities that are visiting experienceindianola.com are Chicago and Loveland, Colorado, more than Indianola. So people are paying attention to what we have to offer here, and hopefully they're going to book a vacation and they're going to stay at one of our amazing, locally owned hotels or one of our hotels here, or camp at our cool campgrounds. That's the goal of Experience Indianola, get them to come and hang around. And we've got an exciting thing ahead, but I'm going to pause and let somebody else talk.
The dramatic effect. Yeah. No, I mean, I think I agree. I think the untapped potential of Indianola and the county, just sharing its story and leveraging the resources and the talents of, the individuals in this room, but also of each other. You talk about community partners and collaborations. It really is just kind of magnifying the assets, whether it be the rolling hills or the great restaurants and bars and the agritourism that we have available, and just sharing it with the rest of the world to come and experience and enjoy. And so, I often think too that, tourism may get a bad rap when you talk with, the impact between like residents who, they may not be, I don't want, get off my lawn. I don't want you coming in here, but you go back to the economic impact, $45 million alone is critical.
Yeah. I love to say this. Everybody's favorite taxpayer should be the taxpayer who comes and spends their money and leaves. So the more that we can invite a visitor to come here short term, invest in our community, that is a tax benefit to all of us as residents. And so I can understand, the concerns and questions, but I think that we balance it. I think it's a manageable visit. It's also attracting bus tours. When I came on board, 0. That's how many bus tours, at least they come to the Classic, but 0 bus tours were calling the chamber and saying, hey, I want to come for 3 days. When we started investing in this, guess what? We were putting 3-day itineraries. And I know listeners are thinking, you cannot keep people busy here for 3 days. And I will argue with you because we have done it. We have people going to the farms. We have private opera arias taking place over luncheons at the Des Moines Metro Opera. We are doing honey tasting experiences by Milk and Honey Apiary that are fascinating. We have Elodie Obstead doing cemetery tours. People don't realize how interesting of tours we can put on here in the community. We aren't just about balloons. We are so much more. But that doesn't mean we don't sell it. People are interested in coming here because of the National Balloon Classic and the balloon experiences. And so we love to take that flight message just to a different level. And so I think every campaign that we've run it includes launch your adventure. We can create 3 days worth of adventure here. We even had disc golf pros coming and giving disc golf lessons to bus tours.
And they loved it. It was so much fun.
Did they go to the tee box themselves?
Yes. They would just go up and the instructor would teach them how to do it, and they would go, and they got back on the bus and they're like, Haley, this was so much fun. Like, you can just make a blast out of anything here, I feel like.
About how large are the bus tours? We talking like just a handful of people? Are we talking like a full like charter bus full?
Yeah, usually it's either a small bus or a full bus. So anywhere from like 26 to 54 is usually the size of group. And so just to demonstrate the impact, it was almost $50,000 that was spent with local businesses from 8 bus tours last year. So that's a big financial impact too.
It is. So you talked about experiences. You talked about passports. Do you want to talk more about that dramatic pause we had earlier and
With the passports?
reveal more about the passports? Yeah.
Yes. So we are super excited to be launching digital passport program that will allow people to essentially explore or launch their adventure, both here in Indianola as well as throughout Warren County. And when they go and they either check in or there's actually offers that are going to be available at some locations, when they take advantage of that, they can earn points. And as they earn points, they can be entered into sweepstakes to win cool experiences like a hot air balloon flight or a gift certificate or some swag. I think that what makes the passport special is that it creates this kind of map or this blueprint of what you can do to explore our community differently, maybe different than you've ever done before. So we have 3 that we're going to be launching: a flights, bites, and sights passport. And that's not just about hot air balloons. It's also drink flights. So we decided to be a little creative there. We also have a Wander Warren County Adventure Pass and then a Family Fun Pass. So people need to go and basically, if you go to either experienceindianola.com or you can also go to iowagetaway.com, which is a kind of our collaborative site for the multi-community and county initiative that we're doing. And it's just basically something you add to your home screen and then you can go have fun. It's free. It is free to everybody. So we really want the community to get out there and engage in this.
You talk about digital. So is it strictly digital? So like for those who want to have a print copy, they can't do it. It's entirely digital on their phones.
It's a digital passport. Yep. That is the way that it's not only a way for us to get it out into the universe, but also makes it pretty easy for business owners and not just business owners, but the organizations and the locations. I mean, you can go and check in at Somerset State Park, and it will work because it's using your GPS to verify that you're there. So that is how it gets accomplished.
No, that's very cool. And just say those website URLs one more time. That way they know where to go to download and get that information.
ExperienceIndianola.com or iowagetaway.com.
Remember that, folks. Write it down. Go right now. You can go out of the podcast episode, go to those sites, and then come back and continue to listen to the conversation. So that's your cue.
And follow us on at Experience Indianola on Facebook or on Instagram, because that's where we're highlighting regularly the things that are happening in our community. It's so interesting how often I'll talk about something and somebody's like, oh, I haven't heard about that. And I'm sitting here thinking, wow, we've said it 20,000 times. How have they not heard about it? So if you follow us, you're going to be more apt to hear about it. And we actually share weekly the events that are taking place in Indianola, both on the chamber page as well as Experience Indianola. So be sure to be following us there. And then if you go to experienceindianola.com, sign up on there to receive our newsletter, because we highlight special things in there as well. And
we also send upcoming events through email that way too.
I mean, you both do a lot.
I know we're tired.
I often get blown away just because of the initiatives and all of the opportunities that you two continue to seize for the greater good of Indianola, and of course with the county. When you talk about the collaborative approach, what do you find the most joy in both of your jobs?
Working with Haley.
Yeah, that's a blast. I love all of the amount of people that I've met and how much I've grown through it. It's absolutely amazing as well. All the business owners, and I don't know, just getting to know them outside of their shop, like just as a person.
Has there been anything though for you that's been kind of surprising or challenging? Because it definitely is no easy feat.
I mean, I feel like everything's a little challenging, right? But I honestly had no idea how much Indianola had to offer until I started doing it. And I think it's crazy. Like, I think even if you've lived in Indianola your whole life, you should go check out the Experience Indianola website, because there's so much more than what you think there is. There's more than just the downtown square.
In addition to working with Haley, which is a blessing for me every single day.
So sweet.
I love the one-on-ones that I have with people. Before this, I was doing coaching and consulting, and I had kind of that opportunity to get to know people one-on-one, and being able to sit down and talk to people about either their challenges or their dreams. I love ribbon cuttings. I don't know what it is about young women who are opening their businesses. Maybe it's just because I was that person too, but it makes me cry. And I would say the biggest challenge is just, the inability to meet everybody's expectations. We work very, very hard, and we are doing it for the community. Like we aren't doing this for our own
No.
mission. The ideas that we come up with are always centered around how do we make an impact for the community, the businesses, the people who live here. And, sometimes it's still not good enough in some people's eyes. And that's difficult to manage, to be transparent with you. That's probably the hardest part, because we're people pleasers, and we're perfectionists. We want to do things the best that we possibly can, but we're also human, and we can only do so much. We're a team of two, and 0.25. We have another part-timer who comes in and helps with some accounting stuff. But that's also where the chamber comes in to play. Our boards, our committee members, our chamber champions. Everybody works really, really hard to pull these things off. And, it's a challenge. So we would love to be doing everything. The chamber's kind of the dial. Hey, have you guys thought about doing this? Have you thought about doing that? We would love to.
What's the number for this doctor's office? Just random things too. Yes. Everybody calls us for everything.
I've gotten asked for where to buy specific ingredients for a recipe.
There you go.
And then proceeded to learn the entire recipe. And
What was the recipe? Was it a secret family recipe that you're able to disclose?
It was something very healthy. I can't remember what it was, but I had to recommend that she traveled to Trader Joe's, because I went on Hy-Vee's website to see if they sold it here locally, and they didn't. But so I think, remember, if people can remember, we want to do as much as we can for you. But that's where good ideas begin to form, when community members begin to form as well and create something. And so we're all about supporting multiple organizations and initiatives and getting the word out there. So if people have good ideas, we kept hearing about bike night, and we never ran bike night. People thought we ran bike night, but here you've got Crystal Inman over at Sticks and Balls, who said, okay, I'm going to own bike night, and I'm going to create it and bring it back. Those good ideas that are out there can still be owned and created by someone. So if you want to make something happen in this community, go do it, and we will push it out and help it be a success.
Exactly. And even with that event too, we'll use bike night as example. It probably won't be like how it was in years past, but that's okay. It's going to have its own take. It's going to have its own personality, and it's going to morph into being bigger and better, or whatever the goals are that Sticks and Balls has, because they're owning it. But even for the sake of Dad's Rock Festival, you have the opportunity, community members, that if you want to volunteer and you want to give back and be part of this awesome community event, there's your chance to join this team to help make this opportunity worthwhile, not just for Indianola, but we're going to have tons of visitors across central Iowa and beyond, maybe even Loveland, Colorado, maybe even Chicago, that are coming to experience this festival right here in Indianola.
Yeah. We have some new arrivalist tracker, seeing where people are coming from, this technology that allows us to see that. And I cannot wait to see after this summer where people came from. We'll be able to, maybe we book our next podcast in September and we can report out.
We'll do it sooner than that. We've got plenty of stories and opportunities to have have fun with. But even with that data, how important is just data within your own decision making, whether it be for the organization of festivals or just the next step or decisions that you make in your day-to-day operations, whether it be as a chamber or for the tourism initiative as well?
Yeah, great question. So I'm an engineer by degree, so I'm a nerd. So like data and details, I just love. So I think it's really, really important to use data to make decisions on, who you're going to target, where you're going to target them, and why, and how. And so we've been using data to make some of those decisions. And so we'll be out pushing, advertising in certain areas and discovering that, hey, we're just not getting the traction. And so then we will redirect until we find success. The one thing we want to make sure is that, given that we're a nonprofit, and I don't think a lot of people think that the chamber is actually a part of the city. We get that a lot, but the Indianola Chamber is actually a nonprofit, separate entity. And so our resources are nonprofit, really. We don't have a significant budget, so we have to be very, very good stewards of how we're using the financial resources that we have. And so as we're looking at investing in the advertising of the community, it has to be well spent, and we have to see the return. Otherwise, we'll shift.
People always ask me, like, what's your secret? And I go, I don't know. I'm figuring it out on the fly. You're making adjustments. You're putting your best foot forward. And if it doesn't work, at least you tried, but you're learning from whether you define that as failure or success. You're learning from that to then take the next best step in whatever direction you want to go and whatever purpose. So It's awesome. And I love collaborating with the both of you. Do you have any other like exciting updates or just some programs outside of the festival and other things that you're gearing up for that you'd like to share?
I mean, can we just talk about for a second that our Ragbri marketing thing got
award-winning
at the Nova AMA Awards?
Yeah,
that's big time.
That was all three of us together.
And our guests that were on our Ragbri video. So if listeners did not see our Just Eat It Ragbri video, you have to go check it out, because we did win an award with the Iowa Marketing Association this year for that. But I think that's just a great example of the power of collaboration. And I think that is the opportunity that our community has, is to continue to look at opportunities to collaborate. If we have less resources to work with, we've got to work better, smarter, not harder together. So I would say, but to answer your last, your question as far as other things that are exciting, I would just say we kill it in the summertime here in Indianola. We've got Disc Mania at the end of June, the opera starting at the end of June, the Sky Parade July 10th, I think, National Balloon Classic, Warren County Fair, Indianola Arts Festival, all that last week of July into the beginning of August. Make your plans to support these amazing events, because there are a lot of hard workers making those things happen right now. A lot of volunteers as well. So if you've got a passion for something there and you want to support, whether it be through volunteer, buying a ticket, sponsoring, go out and do it, because those things make our community pretty special.
And where can listeners find all this information one more time?
At experienceindianola.com.
Buy those tickets, download the passport, visit experienceindianola.com, as well as iowagetaway.com. Amanda and Haley, thank you so much for joining us on today's episode of Indy Unplugged. It was a blast. Hope you guys had fun. And listeners, make sure you leave a comment, leave us a review. That way we know that each and every episode of Indy Unplugged that we're putting out, it's hitting the mark. And who knows, maybe next time you'll be a future guest of Indy Unplugged.